What's up guys, and welcome back to another EVE Online video. I recently did a video which will be linked up in the top right here, anchoring one of the new Metenox moon drills in JSpace. That video has been watched quite a few times, and I've received several comments asking if we could also calculate the return on investment. So what I think we'll do is do just that today. Before we dive into the numbers, if you want to support the channel, you'll find my creator code in the description, as well as a link to the Marquee Dragon store. If you use either of those things, I get a nice small kickback, so would appreciate that if you want to. But yes, let's dive into this. What do we need to figure out the return on investment? Basically, we need to understand the build costs so that we know how much it costs us to build and anchor this thing. We need to understand the running costs, and then of course the profit we can make from selling the materials. Now this is going to be a back of the envelope calculation. What do I mean by that is essentially I'm not going to include any sales taxes, brokers fees, or industry facility fees, any of that stuff. So the actual total will be slightly lower than we see here, and therefore a slightly longer return of investment. But what I will say to kick things off is I ran some of the numbers last night, and the ROI is horrible in JSpace. Now that's not a huge surprise. If you don't know, Wormhole Space only has the ability to have R4 moons, which are the lowest quality moons. It's the equivalent to HiSec, but you can't anchor a moon drill in HiSec, so essentially JSpace is the worst place you can anchor moon drills. Now that being said, no null block alliance or even low sec alliance is going to anchor a moon drill on an R64 or probably even an R32 moon, because they're too valuable to lose the 40% of efficiency. But I imagine that all the R8 and 16 moons are having these drills dropped on them, and the return on investment is going to be much higher. R4 moons, we're going to see today, it's a long, slow process. Okay, so let's have a quick look at what it costs to build an anchor one of these. We can get that information basically by just going into the industry, going into the blueprint, and collecting the materials that are required to build it. We're not going to do estimated, we're going to do market prices. So to build and anchor one of these need these things, which I copied and dropped into Janice, which we will go G to buy, because let's assume we've gone and placed buy orders to do these things. Of course we could try and build these from scratch, which is actually what we did, but for the purpose of this video let's assume these are the basic items. It costs 589 million ISK to build and anchor one of these things. That's not too bad. It really isn't too bad at the moment. So that's fine. That's the cost, upfront cost. Then, if we go into the moon drill details, we can also work out the running costs. So, in this section here is the amount of fuel that is being consumed. So, you can use any fuel block, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, helium, and consume 5 per hour, and that's kind of perpetual. It's consuming 5 per hour. So because you can use any fuel block, obviously my recommendation is to just buy whichever is cheapest at time of what's it called? At time of that you're buying the fuel. Work that out using Janice as well. So let's quickly go to Janice. Hydrogen, helium, oxygen, and what did I say the last one was? Nitrogen. And then fuel block. I spelled nitrogen with a typo. Let's do that again. Okay, and a buy orders, the cheapest fuel block is nitrogen. So this is as of this video, you should be running with nitrogen fuel blocks. So let's quickly go back to Eve. We have, let's assume this is a nitrogen fuel block, we consume 5 per hour, and then magmatic gas, we consume 55 per hour. And now again, you can of course go and get magmatic gas from raiding skyhooks, but it's still good to include this as an opportunity cost, because you could just go and take that gas and sell it on the market. So we're going to assume we're placing buy orders to get this 55 per hour. We've got magmatic gas, we need 55 per hour, and we're going to change this to nitrogen fuel, and we need 5 per hour. This specific drill, this is the outputs, and this is per cycle. Each cycle is per hour, and so for this moon we get this proportion of atmospheric gases, hydrocarbons and silicates. So I'm going to run the numbers for this, but if you're going to run this purely for profit, you just basically want to find out whichever material has the highest selling value of the 4. Missing from this list is evaporate deposits. You want to find out which is highest value and set up the drill on a moon that contains 100% of that. But I do this for industry, so I wanted a good spread of materials. So we're going to look at buy orders for these, because that's how much it costs us to run, and we're going to look at sell orders for these. There we go. So nitrogen fuel block, very little, and then the others sell for okay amount. So now let's get our trusty calculator, and it costs us per hour 867,900 plus 91,500. It costs us 959,400 to run each hour, and then we can sell all the outputs for 471,937, 235,640, and 506,880. Enter. So basically, ignore the minus. That's just how I've run the sum. Basically, we are making a profit of 255,000 ISK per hour, which is not very much. So 255,057, it was ISK per hour being generated there. But this runs perpetually in the background as long as you've got it fueled. So per day, 6,121,000 ISK per day. We know that it cost us 589 million to anchor. So we can do 589. Let me just put this number somewhere. Okay, we can do 589,020,123 divided by 6,121,368. There we go. It is going to take me 96 days with current prices of everything to pay off the structure, which actually isn't horrific, right? That's 3 months to pay off one structure, including the running costs and everything. And this is a moon that's not min-maxed. You could, you know, all those 3 materials that I don't know. Let's just run another quick thing here and chuck evaporate deposits on as well. Submit. So you can see here that silicates and evaporate deposits are worth significantly less than the other 2. Hydrocarbons are worth the most. So if you went and just slapped this down on a 100% hydrocarbon moon, then you'll have a faster return of investment. But we've got quite a lot of silicates and not very many hydrocarbons, which is slowing things down a little bit. Return on investment will take 96.2 days, so 3 months to pay off one of these. The one way to look at it is once you've paid it off, you're then making not horrendous passive ISK. And now this obviously is not, this is a wild speculation, but in this system we have a lot of moons. Okay, there's 21 there, 17 there, another 20 there, so straight away that's what, 21, 41, 58. So let's say we've got 60 moons, and we had 60 Metenox moon drills. This is then making, it was 6, 1, 2, 1, 3, 6, 8 per day. If you run it perpetually for a year, you're making 2.2 billion that year. Let's go close. Let's go slightly simpler numbers. Let's go for a month. 6, 1, 2, 1, 3, 6, 8 times 30. It's making 183 million a month once it's paid for itself. So after 92 days, this is pure profit. And let's assume we've got 60 drills down on 60 moons. Each one of those is only going to take 3 months to pay itself off, and then depending on how many moons you've got these things on, you know, that would be 11 billion per month, so enough to plex 3 accounts if you're able to just run 60 drills safely, which is a big if, of course. But yeah, so after 90 days it's all pure profit, and we're making what was it, 180 a month, 183 million a month. So as long as you're able to defend it for 92 days on an R4 moon, then it's just money. So why not? And having run these numbers, I was a little bit staggered about how low and slow it is, but I'm probably going to anchor a second or a third so that we can build up a fair bit of passive cash each month. Like, as you see, we've got a load of moons not doing anything. I use this stuff for industry, which is how you're going to make more money. You know, if you is you going to let me show info on this? Yeah. You know, if you use your atmospheric gases and turn them into oxyorganic solvents, for example, which uses the two things we've got coming out of this moon, then the return on that is quite high. Like, let's drop down to 1 run. That's 9.4 million. Sells for 9.7 million. Not horrendous. But then again, I take it a step up, and you go into these things which do normally carry some value. Again, this is all estimated. But all of these are only made from R4 moon materials. So you've got 2.1 going into 2.4. So you've made, you know, what's this? 2.1. Yeah, let's call it 10%. You make 10% on the previous reaction. It just compounds all the way up, and reinforced carbon fibers go into a lot of stuff. So then you can really work out where you're going to make some money. So that's how we make it really worthwhile. But if you don't want to do industry, then you're still earning 183 million a month, just passive money, once it's paid itself off after 92 days. So this actually ran a little bit longer than I expected, but I got quite into showing the numbers. So hope that's all clear. I just want to thank you all for watching and being part of the channel, and you find this kind of stuff useful. If you've made it this far through the video and you're interested in JSpace, by the way, my corporation is recruiting, so you are welcome to come and join us. But yeah, you can come and do some fun stuff like anchoring moon drills and things, I guess. But yeah, thanks very much for watching, guys. I won't keep you any longer. I will see you all in the next one. Cheers.